It's all
So
good.
we're gonna, yeah, it's all good. We're gonna get started here, okay? And there we go. I had something here. All right. Um. Okay. Hi, Joe. How are you? Good to see you. The party don't start till Joe comes in. Okay, we can't start. Okay, absolutely. All right. So I am Margaret Williams. Okay, and I help marginalized leaders. Okay, uh, increase their visibility, their impact, and freedom. Something we all want and need, other than peace and serenity. Okay, and so today we're going to be talking about, Asia and I are going to be talking about women in business. Okay, and so with that being said, Asia is the business witch. Okay, and Asia is an intuitive business strategist, mentor, and creator of the business witch Grim me
Grimoire.
French word. Okay.
Grimoire.
All
Yes.
right. After a successful 20-year career as a corporate HR leader,
Mhm.
where she specialized in recruitment strategy, scaled teams, and led massive talent acquisitions. Okay. She stepped out of the corporate box. We always talk about this box, right?
Mhm.
Come back to it. To blend practical executive strategy with energetic alignment.
Yep.
Okay. And so the rest, I'm gonna let her talk about herself and what brought her to Self Stack. Okay. And she's gonna talk about the work she does, and you can take it from here, Asia.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Margaret. As she said, thank you so much for that introduction. My name is Aisha, and I am known as the
Oh,
Business Witch. It's okay. It's really okay. And I am known as the Business Witch. Yes, you are correct. For over 20 years, I worked in human resources. I was an HR director for over 1,000 employees. I also have led talent strategy for multi-million dollar businesses. I've done it all. I've led small teams to do incredible things, hiring over 500 people per year. I did that 3 years running. Had the highest team, the highest performing team in the company. And what I loved about that is working with people and getting to know people. I've had thousands of conversations across different industries. I've helped relocate people into different jobs. And I got into human resources when I started way back to help people find jobs. I really wanted to be that person that would help people find jobs. And so that is one of the reasons that going into recruitment and strategy really was kind of the path that I followed. Well, as we know, sometimes working in corporate can feel like a box, like you're in this little box and there's not a way out of that box. So I have been on my spiritual path for as long as I've been in business, but I kept them very separate. I had my business persona, Aisha, the very polished person who would speak corporate and do all the things and polished every single email and everything that I said. I did that for so long. And then the other side of me, very spiritual, spending all my time in nature. I used to ride horses. And so I've spent a lot of time with animals. I've taken classes to learn more about my clairsenses, clairaudience, clairvoyance, all those different ones to understand really what I was seeing when I became a vegetarian over 10 years ago. And when I did that, I started to receive messages, mostly from animals. I remember one time I was sitting with a friend of mine and I was like, there's this fluffy white cat that I'm seeing. I don't understand. And she keeps turning her tail towards me, like, what is happening? And she was like, yeah, I used to have a cat who was very white and fluffy, whose name was Princess Fluffy Butt, which is why she kept turning. So it's things like that I have witnessed and that I have been a part of, obviously, an experience for years and didn't understand what was going on. And again, kept them very separate because I was like, this isn't something I can go to my boss and be like, yeah, I'm seeing this animal, when I'm talking to you. It's weird. So I didn't want to be labeled as that weird person, as that person who would, it doesn't fit into the corporate life, because I was told by a lot of women who in front of me, who are higher than me, Aisha, as a woman, especially as a Black woman, you need to work harder. You need to make your mark and not make waves, but you need to work harder in order to do that. And so I really embodied that. Unfortunately for me, the result of that was mental health leave. I didn't know who I was. I felt like I was losing my identity. I felt like Aisha, when I went to work, was the person that I was, and she just really was not it. I was unhappy, and I didn't understand why. I didn't understand what the heck was going on. So I started to really dive into witchcraft and things that I had been fascinated about since I was a little girl, and just keeping it very quiet. But I started to experiment, like, what am I experiencing here? Like, what is going on? And I really studied for over 2 years with a fellow witch and my mentor. And she really helped me become this person. In fact, one of the things, and then I will stop talking. I kind of have a way of rambling. One of the things that I really worked on was my appearance. When I was in corporate, I made sure that my hair was straightened and all this, and made sure that it would look a certain way, that I dressed a certain way. And she saw me when she was like, I see this lion's mane, and I see you just being 100% you. I never used to show my natural hair because I was made fun of when I was little about not having the hair right. I was born with this giant afro and everything. So I really have stepped into this identity and have just let my hair grow and let me just come out. It has not been an easy process. I do not ever want to say that this was like, oh, I flipped the switch and it was fine. No, this took quite a long time for me to become this. Being here on Substack, I've always loved to write. And I unfortunately had an ex who was not very kind about my writing, and so I stopped. Being here on Substack has allowed me to find my voice again, has allowed me to write how I want to write, has allowed me to be unpolished, has allowed me to be this wild, crazy, saying all the things. And if it lands, great. If it doesn't, that's also fine. And so really being here on Substack has allowed me to meet people like you and allowed me to meet everybody who's here. Like, it's been an amazing experience. And so Substack, regardless of whether you love it, you hate it, you're annoyed with it, you're aroused over them, I get it. But for me, it has really opened up and really been a huge piece of allowing me to be me. So thank you.
Okay, Aisha, let's talk about the pre-conversation we had before this
Yeah.
and why I told you I was uncomfortable
Yeah.
initially with it. And I'm not totally with it, but here we are.
That's
So
all
let's
right.
talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the stigma behind the word witch.
Yes. Yes.
What comes to me is the what they call it, the Salem witch trials,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
And then I thought about the persecution of Black people and how we were stigmatized and hung up on
Yep.
trees, you know?
Yep.
And I'm like, okay. And then I remember Cinderella, where there was a good witch and a bad witch. All I knew was witch.
Yep.
So me feeling uncomfortable with that, but then still on the other side, I'm seeing all the racism, the gender biases, the harassment, the bullying, the gaslighting, and the love bombing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at all of these different things. So what tools do I have that I can use to elevate me above all of these things? So now
Yes.
I'm like, maybe I should reconsider. Okay, that's where
And you
I'm
know
at
what?
today.
That's what I love about having conversations about this, because you're absolutely right. There's a huge stigma around the word witch. Even people, everybody who's here, when you hear the word witch or say it out loud, what's the first thing that comes to mind? And normally, usually, that's because of what you were taught. Like you said, like the Salem witch trials, your experiences around that. If you have people around you who is like, she's acting like such a fucking witch. Excuse me for swearing. I swear a lot.
No, go ahead. Tell the truth.
Like, she's a witch. I can't believe that you're being such a witch. And it usually has a very negative way of connotations like attached to that. Now, when you really think back, though, pulling 50 million steps back and going back to our ancestors, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers, the women who came before us, what did they do when they were cooking and in their cauldrons and making medicines and doing all that? There's making potions, right? Making things to help you, using the using the elements of the earth, right? They didn't have Western medicine the way that we have it now. They didn't have all of these pills that you can just like, oh my gosh, I feel kind of sick, and so I'm going to go and take the NyQuil or whatever it is. They didn't have that. They used the herbs. They used, intention. They used these things to really help heal people. And so these are the women that have come before us. And so what I believe and what I practice is that when you really immerse yourself into the elements, earth, air, fire, water, when you immerse yourself and really use those elements, you are not just, you are becoming a witch in your own right, however you want, but you're honoring the people who have come before us. You're honoring the women who have been here before. You're honoring the earth and everything that she has gone through to sustain life. And so that for me is how I consider witchcraft and being a witch, is that honoring the elements, honoring what is around me, and honoring my energy and protecting that energy, which we're going to talk about more because you wanted to talk about that, and protecting your energy, because there are lots of people in this world. We got to have so many billion people. You got negative energy, positive energy. You got every single energy that you ever want to be around. However, when you really work on protecting your energy and protecting who you are, oh my gosh, everything opens up. Life opens up. And just always just, it's just an amazing experience. So yes, there's a stigma, but if you step back, where does that stigma really come from? Is it because of what you really believe, or is that what you were told and what you were taught? I had to be very conscientious with calling myself the business witch. When I came here on Substack, I deliberately did that because I was scared. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my name. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to do that. I've been on Substack now since the end of February. And I really didn't even want to say the business witch. All my friends, all my family were like, Mom, Aisha, like, this is what you have been working for years, is to become you. Announce that. And so that is why I have announced on Substack that I am, yes, Aisha, the business witch.
It is what it is. We all have free will. We can decide, okay? Is this for the good of the world, or is this for the downfall? You
Yes.
decide, okay?
Yes.
We are taught all these things in order to keep us in this box. This is what you need to do. Anything you do outside of that is considered uh taboo.
Yeah.
Is it taboo based on whose opinion?
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you don't think these one percenters aren't using witchcraft?
They're using something. Let me tell you.
Okay. You don't think they're having rituals?
Yeah.
You
Everybody
don't
has it,
think
like even just taking a shower, brushing your teeth, and doing these things and saying, I have this morning routine that makes me feel good. That's a ritual. That's a ritual. Lighting a candle, like, when you go to church or when you go to anything, they have candles. That's ritual. These are forms of ritual. So this is not anything that's new. This is not
it's
anything that has
not?
just come through. It has become very trendy, I believe. When you go on like Instagram and all these things, you just see candles lit and all the things, and it's beautiful. But when you really take 50 steps back, in my opinion, what is that really like? Are you really putting your energy and your energetics behind this? Like, I don't use tons and tons and tons of herbs in my practice. I use some of the same ones because they can be used for different ones. They can be used for different things. I love being able to learn about like the lore and the history of these herbs. And when you look at that and the history, it's amazing what opens up, and you're like, wow, I am actually part of that history. I'm part of that, of the element. I'm part of the earth when I work with these energies and when I work with this. So again, that stigma, I get it. I get it.
And we're in the mornings we're doing these affirmations,
Yep.
okay?
That's a ritual.
Okay? So we're doing these things and not even recognize what we're doing,
Yep.
and then we're focusing our attention on something or someone to the point we might be putting our projections on them and not even realize it.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. 100%. 100%. And when you're talking negatively about yourself, when you're talking negatively about a situation, the energy that you're putting out is negative. So what do you know? What are you pretty much going to get back? Negativity. But when you speak more positively, and I'm not saying like, oh, I have $1 million in the bank when you feel like when you're not feeling that, because yes, our systems do hold that energy and our systems do hold the energy. Like it is scientifically proven. You can even look this up that the energy that you like that negativity and everything and constant stress, it fucks with your system. Like it's scientifically proven. So when you change that, when you deliberately, intentionally change that, and it does take time. I'm not going to say this is like a one and done. You're like, oh, I just said an affirmation and I'm perfect. No, it takes time. I have been on my spiritual path for over 20 years. And I'm not saying it will take that time for everybody. For me personally, that's how long it took me to get to this point. And I'm exceedingly proud of myself for going through it. Right. But it's different for everybody. And so that time that you put in, that honor that you give to yourself, honoring yourself and your energy and how you want to show up in the world and how you want to give to other people and give to yourself, it is so huge. And that's what a lot of my work centers on, because I believe my motto that every woman should bring in magic, ritual, working with the elements in her work, her business, and her life, because it opens up so much.
Joe asked a really good question. She said something about the difference between empathy and psychic. It's not psychic. She said it's empathy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So being psychic and being empathic are very different things. Being empathic is how you feel about something. When I have psychic visions, because I've spent a very long amount of time really developing my psychic skills. I read tarot for my clients. I also channel. I also am a medium. So it's not something that I do a lot because it can be exceedingly emotional. So as a medium, that is somebody who can contact people who have passed on. And I have been able to successfully do that several times. And each time it has left me in tears, just in tears with my clients and with the people that I've worked with. So yes, you're very right. Empathy is how you feel, and taking on other people's energies like that. And that is actually something that I really work on to not do a lot, because when you take on this, oh my gosh, it can leave you so drained. So yes, there's a really big difference between the two. Yes.
And with that being said, I was having so many problems at work, and this one girl I was talking to, um, she told me to come home and take a shower with salt.
Yeah. So salt, one of my favorite ingredients. Salt comes from the earth, so you're working with earth magic, and depending on what kind of salt, one of the salts I use a lot are sea salt. So you're bringing in two of the elements. You're bringing in earth and you're bringing in water. So salt is extremely protective, and it also is very absorbent. One of the things that I do to absorb negative energy around is I'll put like little bowls of salt and like a little bowl of salt and a little bowl of baking soda, right? When you think about baking soda in your fridge or whatever, what does it do? It absorbs. So it's the same concept. When you say, spirit of baking soda, help me absorb any negativity that is around me, it is one of the easiest and one of the cheapest ways to really start to really bring a ritual or magic into your life. It's just by salt. I use a lot of salt to protect when I burn candles, I sometimes will put a ring of salt around it to protect that. Salt is exceedingly protective, and it's very earth energy. It comes from the earth. It flavors our food. It does all the things. I also do intentional cooking. When I use salt, I ask that what I'm cooking protects those who eat it. So it's like, right? It's almost like prayer. It's ritual. It's the same kind of concept. Yes.
Yeah, because when I was in the Baptist church, probably all traditional things, you say a prayer before the meal.
Yep. Yep. Same kind of thing. I don't eat meat anymore, but my family still does. That is totally fine. So one of the things that I do is I actually bless the meat before they eat it. And I actually, I do say, thank you. Your life was given so that my family, my daughter has a almost 9-month-old, my grandson, my first ever grandchild, she has a 9-month-old. So she needs to keep eating. She needs to keep eating a lot of proteins and a lot of things. So I do a lot of intentional cooking for her, and just really make sure that what she is getting, so she's getting the energy and the vitamins and the minerals and everything that she does. And people do that in prayer all the time. Same concept, just different way of looking at it.
Also, I was told to use white candles.
Okay, so white candle, so color magic. You may have noticed I'm wearing red.
Yeah.
So I did this because today is Tuesday, and if you are paying attention to astrology, which I do, I'm not an astrologer. Be very, very clear about that. I'm not an astrologer, but I do pay attention to astrology. And in astrology, Tuesday is associated with the planet of Mars. And Mars is the red planet. And it is associated with Aries. And it is, I'm an Aries sun. So it is associated with Aries and it's associated with action. And so I decided to put on some red to come on today so that I could really associate myself and honor that energy of Mars. So because of that, white, different colors mean different things and they can mean different things to you. For me, white is a blank slate. White is like the new beginning. White is the way that you bring in new blessings. When you bring in, if you want to bring in new blessings, light a white candle and say, I'm open to all the blessings that are available to me. Doing something very simple like that. And I can just go down a few. Green, what is that associated with? Earth, right? When you think of green, you think grass, you think earth. So earth, money, 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 money. When I do my money spells, I love using either gold or green candles. Love. Brown, grounding, earth energy. Pink, if you want love, or you're like, I need to just love myself more. I need more self-love. Pink, light a pink candle. Blue is amazing. What is that associated with? Water. Healing, releasing, really making sure that you can bring those energetics in. And then like gray, right? Like maybe you have like a kind of an in-between. When I think of gray, I think of like moon, like silver, grayish. I think of the moon. So I'd like gray candles during the moon, during new moons and things like that. So each color has its own energy, and how you use it is how it's going to be.
And with that being said, I try to think about different things that I can institute that makes me more positive, stay positive, right?
Yep.
And the frequencies
Oh,
help with that.
sound. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Sound
That
is incredible. It, when you listen to sounds, especially with headphones on, so you can really just kind of immerse yourself. Like if you're listening to like, guided meditations or whatever that does, it's just amazing what sound can do to kind of really like I don't know if you've ever like I used to sing. I used to when like way back in the day, I've been in 3 operas. So I used to sing way back in the day. And one of the statistics that was very interesting is that people who conduct, like conductors for music, they have long lives because they surround themselves with music. They surround themselves with beauty and music and just this amazing. Like if you play classical music for your plants, it's been shown that they grow, they thrive because sound has the most amazing effect on our internal system. So I love listening to classical music. I listen to almost every single kind of music you can imagine, but I love listening to it with my grandson because it just brings this amazing amounts of peace when I listen to that. So sound, yes, is amazing. And Joe just asked, do you wear colors too with intention? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Every single day before I get, not trying to be funny, this may be TMI. Even what you put your undergarments on, I'll be very PC with that. What is next to your body? What do you want to embody? Right? Because everything that you take in is energy. Everything around you was an idea. So everything contains, like even the table that I'm sitting next to was an idea. Somebody had this idea at one point. So that means that energy of that idea is within this table. So I know a lot of people are like, that's an inanimate object. I totally get it. Totally get it. But even like my car, I go out and I talk to my car. Like, thank you so much, because my car carries my grandson around. It carries me around. It carries my daughters around. It carries my groceries home. It does all of this. And without my car, I couldn't do all the things that I need to do. So I say to my car, thank you so much. Thank you so much for running, for keeping us safe, for doing all those things. I even cleanse my car once a week because it's around all the things. It's around all the people. I cleanse my car with smoke cleansing every week.
Oh, since we're talking about cleansing, I don't know. Do you use sage or it's another one starts with a P?
Oh,
Uh,
Palo Santo. Yeah,
yeah.
I do not use those. I use what is called dragon's blood. It is a resin, a plant resin, and I use that a lot. Or I use different kinds of incense because I have my grandson. We don't use a lot of smoke cleansing. You can also cleanse with water. So just putting even a little bit of salt into some water and spraying it around, that's a cleansing water. Even just doing something very simple like that. So I do cleansings. every week. We put that like kind of on the walls. We wash our walls down. Today is the first of the month. I love that. Today is the 1st of July. So what did I do? I did a blessing for my home. Take a little bit of cinnamon, ground cinnamon in your dominant hand. I'm right-handed. Put a little bit, walk outside your front door and blow it into your front door. I welcome abundance. I welcome prosperity. Cinnamon is an attractor. Cinnamon is an attracting herb. So using that and blowing that in, if you can, leave it, whatever's fallen into your home for 24 hours, and then you can sweep it up and thank it for what has helped. In fact, I did a post about that should be up. I did a note on that today. So even just little things like that, it doesn't have to be this grand, giant. I think a lot of people think, I don't have time to make an altar and put all the things. You don't have to do all that. I don't have time for all that. I don't. But I don't get into bed without cleansing the day off of me. I make sure I take at least a 5-minute shower. I do not get into bed for the night without cleansing, even if I've had a really good day, because I like my days to start new. I like my days to start fresh, because you never know what's going to happen. So right. I take showers every single night before I get into bed and just make sure that everything is cleansed. And I even thank you for this day. Thank you for yet another day that I'm breathing. Thank you so much. But I am ready to cleanse that and wake up tomorrow refreshed, renewed.
Another thing.
Yes, those bowls. Yeah, yes, I have one of those. I love them.
Yeah, I have to figure it out. I look at the instructions again, but every little thing
yes
add value to what you're trying to achieve. And that's why positive thinking is so important, because what you think, you become.
Yes, exactly. So if you continue to think to yourself, I am broke, I am poor, I'm never going to have money, chances are you probably won't. But if you think to yourself, even if you don't believe it, and I say this to my clients all the time, and they look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, even if you don't believe it, just be like, I'm abundant. If you don't want to say I have $1 million, because I get it, because that could be a really hard thing to believe when you don't have it. But if you say to yourself, I'm abundant, I am open to the possibility of being abundant, right? Because when you put yourself like, I have to make this amount of money this way, you're boxing yourself into that very, very small way that it could happen. And the universe is like, there's like a 50 million other ways that this could happen, and you just closed all of them off. So opening yourself up to the possibility of miracles, miracles happen every day. We hear about them all the time, right? You go online, you're like, how the hell did it happen to that person? Because you know what? I bet you they were open to the possibility. I bet you they were.
to keep it real, we are a miracle.
Exactly. And so living in that, it is every single person on this planet, it is our birthright to respect, to be, to be respectful of other people, to be respectful of what is around us, to be respectful of the earth. And I promise you, when you really do that and embody that, the most amazing things open up. Because the universe actually does reward, like, yeah, this person is 100% on the right track. And so it opens up. When I first got on Substack, I had zero thought process of being on lives. I was like, I'm not gonna talk. Why would I'm a writer? I don't talk. And I said, though, I'm open to the possibilities. When I got on Substack, I said, I'm open to the possibilities of how this is going to grow. I had no idea that I was going to start doing lives, that I was going to be invited. I had no clue, none. But because I was open to it, look what's just happened. It's amazing.
Yes. Up to you. It's called the laws of attraction.
Yes, laws of attraction. It 100%. But when you box yourself into it has to work out this way, this person, this thing. No. I'm open to the possibilities. I'm open up to the possibilities of how the universe wants to see me succeed. Because I truly believe that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Now, does that mean that it's exactly the thing that you think it is? No, not all the time. Sometimes, people have been like, but I lost that job. I had a client, she lost a job, and she was like, I just got the job and I got laid off. What the hell happened? Well, it turned out that 2 weeks later, she found a different job that paid her more than, because she was like, I don't know what, she felt horrible. She was like, she was pissed off. We did an energy cleanse. We cut the energetic tie to that old job. Within 2 weeks, she had another one where she was paid even more. So doing these things, doing these little changes in your life, I just cannot explain to you how much it just opens everything up. It's just amazing.
let's talk about crystals.
Okay.
Yeah, they have healing properties and everything, you
Yes,
know?
they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah. So,
So I'll be very, very honest with everybody here. This is my opinion. I have a lot of crystals that have been gifted to me and that I even bought before. I have stopped buying them. There's a reason, okay? And this is my opinion. Because at one time I was on social media and somebody had posted a picture. I believe it was from Brazil or one of the places that has a really large mine, especially for like rose quartz, things like that. And the amount of crystals that were in that picture, I was like, oh no, oh no. It was like honest, it was so much. And I was like, and then I looked up how long it takes the earth to make them, up to 400,000 years. So just taking all of this, I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to honor the crystals that I have. I'm going to honor the stones that I have. I'm going to honor those, but I am not going to buy any more because that was just a very personal, it was a very personal way for me to do it. But you're 100% right that crystals do. In fact, I have my selenite with me. This is something that was gifted to me. This is selenite. It is, and it has a goddess. I don't know if you can see it. It has a goddess etched onto this. And I use her. Selenite is a really great crystal. If you are into crystals, completely fine. I do not judge anything. Selenite is a great one for cleansing and for clearing. Great. Sometimes I even sleep with the stone, like just kind of in my hand and just falling asleep like that. It's just like cleanse. If I've had an especially bad day, sometimes and I can't just quite let everything go, I'll just like, spirit of selenite, please take this from me. And I wake up feeling pretty good. It's a really great one to cleanse your cards, cleanse your other stones, cleanse your food, cleanse whatever. And it's a great one to do that. So again, that is my personal feeling on crystals. But absolutely, people who I used to work for somebody who used to sell them, so I completely get that. It's completely fine. That's just my own personal take on it.
But you have to clean them and clear them of something, right?
So people do believe that you do need to cleanse them because they do take an energy, right? Especially if you have them and you're just constantly holding it, and it does take that energy. So a great time to cleanse that and to release that is on a full moon. Kind of looking at like the energy of that full moon. And just my daughters and I used to just have like a lineup of all of our stones and all the things that we wanted to have cleansed, just like under the moon, and we would just leave it there overnight if you can. So we would take them outside, leave everything overnight, and just allow that to be cleansed. You can also just use air. I have a fan that I use, and so I use air to kind of cleanse and take away. So I do that a lot. I have a fan that I use for almost anything. I also use the fan to cleanse my thoughts. When my thoughts go millions miles a minute, I'm like, whoo, please take that. Please take it. Please take it. Make sure that I am aligned. So little tips and tricks that I use all the time, like every day that I use to be able to do that. It's also a good time, like cleansing yourself, cleansing your phone. Our phones have crystals in them. Our laptops have crystals in them because that's just how they were made. You can even look this up. I believe it's quartz that's in so every week I cleanse my phone. I take it outside. I cleanse it and I thank it for helping me. This is my little computer, right? This is the way that I make sure that I am with the world. But that takes on every single other piece of energy. My fears, when I'm nervous, when whenever I have to go. So it's just, we don't think about it a lot, but these electronics hold a lot of energy. And so cleansing your phone, I even sometimes will put my phone like on an altar and put salt around it for protection. Like I am straight Delulu like that sometimes.
Well, think about it. A lot of mess come from your phone. That's why I keep it on off.
Yep.
The ringer off.
Yep. I never have my ringer on. It's vibrate all day. No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, when my phone used to ring when I was working, my blood pressure would go up, my heart rate would go up,
Yep.
and my anxiety would go up.
Yep.
And it was my supervisor. Like, what the hell she want?
Yep. Yep. My mother to this day, because she used to be the president, she was in the union and she was president of the teachers union years and years and years ago. And she still has that trigger when the phone rings, she gets nervous. So whenever her phone rings to this day, and she's 84, and she goes, oh my gosh, who is that now? So I have literally been working with her to keep it on, like keep it off at night. Just turn it off. We're all here. You don't need to worry about it. You ain't got to worry about nobody calling. Like, we all stay in the same home right now. It's absolutely fine. So doing that has actually allowed her to sleep better by turning her phone all the way off. And I know a lot of us can't, because it's our alarm or whatever, completely get it. But if you can, turn it off for at least 2 hours a day. Please do that and just put it away from you. Put it away from you, because all that energy that goes into these things, all the internet and this and this and this, oh my gosh, it's carrying everybody's energy. People have had a bad day. People have had a good day. People have had, who just feel like shit, whatever that is. No shade to anybody, but in order to protect your energy, turn it off. Turn it off.
Yeah, and I was in these relationship with these narcissists, okay, and so I had to cut them off to get rid of them because they're not gonna leave you. They ain't gonna
Yeah.
ever leave, right? So I had to disconnect. My block list is close to 100 because I have to protect my peace.
Yep.
I can't. We cannot operate in a negative. I'm not gonna work under those conditions no more. I'm retired now. I had to work like that for all those years. Okay,
Yep.
then you wanna put this ring of fire up there, and I got to do all this work, and I got to jump through that hoop too. I ain't
Yep.
doing all that. I'm not
Yep.
doing all that.
Nope. And there's a thing about narcissists. If you look them up, and this is not my word, this is what people call them, energy vampires, right?
Yeah.
Because they suck all the energy. So what is a great counter to that? Garlic.
Garlic
Whenever I've
what?
dealt with somebody who's a narcissist, I make food with garlic.
Where you put the garlic?
In my food, I even will keep
Okay.
big bulbs of it, like on an altar, surrounded by salt. Like, nope, you're not allowed in here. Like, yeah, I've made altars for like getting rid of energy. And garlic is a huge one for people who just drain your energy vampires. Because, right, you think about vampires, what's the first thing that people always do? Garlic. Eat a piece of garlic bread.
Yeah, I love garlic. I got to buy some more.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, garlic is amazing. I love garlic too. I could eat it in every single thing that I eat. I promise I could. I could put it in everything that I eat.
So it keeps them away, or
You
just the
put that
negative
intentionally,
energy.
like spirit of garlic, help me retain my energy. This is my energy. This is not their energy. Oh, also speaking of energy, one of the things that I love to do, witchy tip for everybody here, is calling your energy back. Okay. So imagine, I'm going to do this really quick. Imagine yourself like a line, and that's like your timeline. Imagine to the left is the past, to the right is the future, right? So the past usually is like kind of depressive thoughts sometimes, where the future can be anxiety inducing, right? Because it's not there yet, but I can see it and I want it. Oh my gosh. All of that is energy that you don't need. Being really present with yourself is huge. So what I do is, I'm a witch, and so I imagine brooms. I imagine brooms sweeping the energy back to me. I call my energy back from the past. I honor you and I thank you for the lessons, but I call my energy back from the past, even for people I love, because you know what? It's just their energy is theirs and mine is mine. So I call my energy back from my mother. I love her, but she and I have a very complicated relationship. So I call my energy back from her consistently. Consistently. I call my energy back from any relationships. I call my energy back from jobs, from people, from anything that does not serve my highest good. I call my energy back from the future. I honor you because I'm on my way, but I need to remain present. So, real quick, Richie tip, doing that for yourself at least once a week, calling your energy back. Oh my gosh, life changing. Life changing.
These things I had to learn, okay?
Oh
Being
yeah.
stalked, being stalked and harassed and all of these things for telling the truth.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I'm not gonna stop. So I'm like, well, what can I do instead to protect myself? Okay?
Yeah. So Savio has a question. What do we do about turning the tables on all these political tensions? I will
Mm,
be, ooh, that's a really loaded question. But for me, I have a tendency, because I am an empath and working in HR, I used to feel like a therapist. Like maybe should have gone into therapy when I was going to school, because I feel like that a lot. But one of the things that you can do for yourself is, again, these little tips, because what do people who are narcissists, not going to name names, what are these people, who are thinking that they're higher than everybody else? What do they usually do? They thrive on energy. That's what they thrive on. They thrive on energy, and even the negative. They're just like, yeah, people are paying attention to me. It's amazing. So the more you can detach, I'm not saying not pay attention, because, right, I don't want to ever say that, but the more that you can detach and keep calling your energy back, keep calling who you are that is actually an act of self-defense. And it also is actually a way of putting out more energy of being neutral. Being neutral among these times is crucial, and it is not easy to do. I want to be very, very clear that I get it. There's so much happening right now in the world that I'm like, I wake up sometimes and I'm like, what on earth is going on? But the more people, think about it, if you had 1 billion people who every single day would wake up and call their energy back, how powerful that is. How powerful that is to call your energy back so that you know that you're stepping forward with your greatest and for your highest good. How powerful is that? Even if you had 100 people doing that, if you have 500 people in a room and 100 people are just like neutral about it, odds are the other people are going to be like, well, maybe this isn't the best way to be because they're not tripping off of me at all. So again, becoming neutral and really calling your power back and keeping your power intact is so huge. And I know that that may not be like, I don't want to ever say to turn the tables. I am a witch and I do know how to do magic, but I do not ever do magic to harm. And I do not ever do magic to change somebody else's opinion because everybody has free will. That's what I always am very, very strict and I have really strict boundaries about that because karma is a thing. I don't need the karma. I have enough of my own shit going on.
Tell me about it. And
I don't need any, but nope, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Okay, I got my own cross to bear. I'm not carrying your shit in mine too. Not no more.
Exactly.
You need to figure it out on your own.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. And it's just, again, it is not an easy thing, but the more and more and more you do it, just every day, a little bit more of attention here, every day, a little bit more intention here. So if you would like, I can also go through a quick, what I call energetic cord cutting to cut yourself from people's energy. Yeah. If you'd like to talk about that. Okay.
Yes, please.
So we talked about candle magic. Candle magic is fire, the element of fire, right? And it also is, I love to use I always say bring your phone when you use fire magic, because when you take still pictures of the flames, the most amazing messages can come through. So if you're ever burning something, just take some quick pictures and it's amazing. Like one time I was like, a friend of mine, she took it and she was like, what is this? It actually showed her standing at like a lectern speaking and she wanted to teach, but she wouldn't have seen it if she hadn't taken a picture. So I always say, light a candle and then take some stills and see what comes through in the flames. It's amazing sometimes what comes through.
Interesting.
So cord cutting is a really good energetic way to cut your energy from somebody, something like an old job, an old boss, and old boyfriend, girlfriend, however you want to do it. It's just however you want to cut your energy and remain you. You're going to need 2 candles, a piece of string. And if you want to use herbs to dress your candles, that's absolutely fine. I'm a huge advocate for fire safety. So just please make sure that you are being safe. So I use the small chime candles. They're cheaper and they burn faster because we ain't got days to wait. So it'll burn in like less than an hour. So they're called chime candles or spell candles, and they're pretty small. I think they're like maybe 4 inches. They're like that long. I wish I had one here that I could show you, but I do not. So I use 2 different colors. I use black to break the tie to represent the person or thing that I am breaking. And I use white to represent me. And I usually have the 2 candles. You stand them up however you need to. You can use a candle holder. I use plates where I just kind of melt wax on the bottom and have them stand up. It's a really easy way to do it, which you tipped right there. And then you tie the string. Yep, you can use tea lights, but it's best if you use a long time, because what you're going to do is you're going to tie that string between the 2 of them. And you're going to tie the string and then you're going to light them. And pay attention to which candle breaks the tie. If it's the white one, it means you're breaking the tie and you're good. If it's the black one, it can mean that there may be still some energetics that are holding you in place and you may need to do it again. So I'm happy if anybody wants to DM me with any questions or anything like that, please, absolutely. But that's just a quick witchy tip in order to do. And also pay attention to how the wax pulls. Does it mix together? That means that there's still like a real tie there. Or does it stay pretty separate? Which means that, yeah, we're ready to let this go. I had a client who had a really tough time. Another one, I work with people in business, so I had a tough time really letting go of a last job. And she did that every week for about 3 weeks. And by the time she did it the 3rd time, she was ready and she got another job, not too much further after that. So, it's just these little tips and tricks that you can do, because again, is it just the magic that's working? No. It's your intention. It's the energy that you put into that. That is what changes everything. That's what changes the energetics around you. What I love about magic and ritual is it acts as a tool. I am a very heavy, heavy, heavy thinker. So I have thousands of thoughts. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000. So how the hell are we supposed to grab that one and follow that thread with all the 59,999 thoughts that are going on? So what I love about magic and about ritual is it gives you an anchor. It gives you something physical to look at, to hold. That's what I love about magic and ritual is it gives your body and it gives your mind and your nervous system, oh, I'm holding on to that. That's the intention that I want to put out. That's the intention that I'm putting. That's the intention that I am putting forth. That's what I love about it.
I talked yesterday, and I'm talking again about the trauma bond. It is so difficult to walk away from these abusive relationships because we know nothing else.
Yes.
And so we have to find a way. And my childhood, it was all these things was unresolved until now. Now I'm starting to heal from it. I've been carrying this stuff around all these years. Okay, and it stays in your body. It affects your mental, physical, emotional, financial well-being.
It does. It really, really does. And another thing that people do not realize is that our DNA holds not just who we are, right? When you were in your mother's womb, you carried her energetics. When she was in her mother's womb, she carried her energetics. So my mother was born 3 days after Pearl Harbor. So she came into the world during panic, attack, fear, war. That's when she came into the world. And to this day, she's almost like a borderline almost hoarder. Like we have to really watch it because in that time, when she came into the world, that's what they did. They didn't know what was going to happen next day, a week from then, 10 days from then. So they kept everything. You made sure that you wore that out. You rode that horse until it wasn't going to come home no more. That's what they did. And so that's what she was taught. That's what she believed is that in order for me to be okay, I have to hold on to everything that I have. So it's for everybody else around her. Is that annoying? Yeah, it is, because it's just like, dude, you hold up. Why is this still here? But when you really take again 50 steps back, that's not her fault. That's not her fault at all. How we have been taught, how we have lived, our experiences, who we hang out with, that all plays a part into who you are and how you approach yourself, how you live in the world, how you do your work, all the things. So if you have somebody around you who's constantly like, I cannot believe how broke I am. I don't ever have any money. This is never going to get any better. Oh my gosh. Even if you love that person so much, what do you think is being put into your aura?
You gotta cut
Feeling
them
broke.
loose.
Right.
You gotta cut them loose.
Exactly. And it's not always an easy thing to do. I want to be very clear. I understand that. But when you have people around you constantly who are just constantly negative and constantly that's what you put in. I truly believe in past lives, in past lineages, and how much you have taken on. I truly believe in all of that because I have seen it. I have seen where people are like, yeah, my mom was like this, my grandmother was like this, my great grandmother was like this. Like they grew up poor, like they've had poor for generation after generation after generation. They're like, how the fuck do I break this? And so we're really going into the deep, into that shadow, into that real energetics of looking where you come from is so important. It is not easy. I wanted to everybody here who's ever done that, if you're on that, it is not easy to do, but it is so essential for you to become the person who you want to become.
You can't until you break these. It's a generational curse. Let's call
Yes.
it what it is.
Yes. 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 And people don't realize that when you're breaking generational curses, that's why that energetic, that quick cord cutting I told you about, you may need to do it over and over and over and over and over. If you have, lineage lines and everything and generational curses that have just been there in place for eons. My mother will tell you, her grandmothers both had to come live with them when she was growing up because they didn't have money. And that's how they all grew up, that you have to do whatever you can because nobody has any money. So she grew up thinking that she was poor, even though when she was working, She made a really good living, but she was always just convinced it was going to leave. Always convinced. So it's really about your belief systems. It's again what you're taught, who you're taught by, and what you have absorbed. And it's not easy. I'm going to keep saying I'm a repeater, but I'm going to say it is not easy to break these things. However, when you do, I promise you, it changes your life. It changes your life.
Yeah, because you see other people around you are so dysfunctional, and you're like, damn, that's me too.
Right.
But you got to get rid of these people out of your life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and then you see things that start to change. Your finances start to change. Your health improves.
Yes.
Your relationships improve. Once you
Yes.
get the negative people out of your life, it's cancer.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Plain
I
and
had to
simple.
really set boundaries with a friend that I'd known since I was 15 and I'm 49. That's a long time. So I had to really set boundaries with somebody who I'd known for a really long time. Like, look, I cannot be a part of these conversations anymore. And he was furious with me. I'm gonna be very honest. He was furious with me. He was like, "This is not feeling like you're very, that you're helping me here at all." And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, "You're right. I'm helping me."
I want to live. Okay.
Right? Because it was draining. Just being around this person was so draining. And so I just finally had to say, you know what? I love you, but I can no longer be a part of these conversations because it's just too much for me. And people are not always they're gonna look at you like, what did you just say? Like, why did you just say that to me? I get it. I get it. Nobody likes to be told no. People don't like to be told no. I get it. However, your energy is yours and it is so much more important than what everybody else thinks. It's so much more important of how you want to show up and how you want to be.
And if you look at the situation, this person probably been in the same situation for 10, 15 years. Okay. And secretly uh jealous and envious of you because you doing well.
Yep. 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 And it's like you said, the law of attraction. When you believe something, when you even honestly just say to yourself, like, I know that I'm destined for more. I know that I am, and I can't wait to see what that looks like. That right there is a prayer out to the universe. That right there is saying to the universe, I'm open to those
And, I,
possibilities.
and I'm ready
Yep, I'm
because
ready.
because the universe is not going to bring you jack shit if you got all these people, all this what do you call it? All these empire vampire.
Energy vampires. Yep.
The universe not going to bring you nothing because they're going to take it from you.
Yep. 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 That's 100% right. And one of the things that you had said that I want to really kind of like, put a spotlight on is your health. When you start to treat your energy better, your health improves, even without pills and all the things. Like, it's just amazing how much you start to just look forward to things. And just that energy alone helps your immune system. It helps how you look. I follow a woman on YouTube and you can see the progression of her looking just younger. She was just starting to light up and she was like, I'm not doing nothing. It was literally her just immersing herself in her work and what she loves to do. And she just looks younger and all the things. Like, it is amazing to me how much the human body, it just wants to be okay. It wants you to be okay. Your mind wants you to be okay. And I get it, but what we feed it, right? There's that story of the two wolves. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. There's a Native American story about the two wolves, and there's a grandfather talking to his grandson, and he's like, there's two wolves inside of us. One of them is envy, anger, all those negativity and that negativity, all those. And there's another one, it's hope, joy, peace, happiness. And the grandson says, which one wins? And the grandfather says, whichever one you feed. So that is I use that story all the time because I love it. It is so powerful. Whichever one you feed is the one that is going to be the one that you project out.
And I did this post a couple of weeks ago. The enemy within, because it's duality. We
Yes.
all have light and dark within us.
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we have free choice,
Yes.
free will to decide whether I'm going to do good or whether I'm going to do bad.
Yep. If you wake up and you think to yourself, I have this really scary meeting and I know it's not going to go well, chances are it won't. However, if you say, you know what, I'm open to the possibility of me being able to say what I need to say, to speak what I need to speak, and then to just have a really good, I'm open to the possibility of this meeting going very well, see what happens. You might actually surprise yourself. You might actually be pleasantly surprised if you go into something instead of like, oh my gosh, I really don't want to do this. This is going to suck so much. Now, I get that this isn't going to work for everything. I completely understand that. Everybody's life circumstance is different. However, the more you start to do that, it's amazing how much things start to change and start to turn in your favor. It's absolutely amazing.
It takes time, baby steps. As in,
Yes.
like Joe said, fear is the biggest enemy we all struggle with, not just you. Okay,
Yes.
there's other things too. We have codependency, we have self-sabotage, okay,
Yeah.
we have the inner critic.
Yep.
All of these things, okay, we combat them through positive thinking. So what you do is ask yourself if that negative thought is true. Is it true? And then you're like, no, it's not true. So what do you do instead? You think positive thoughts. You flip the script. You reframe that shit.
Yep. Fear, one of my favorite things that one of my acupuncturist used to say to me about fear: false evidence appearing real. Right?
Exactly.
And one of my favorite things that I learned when I was on leave, from my therapist, is she's like, fear and anxiety, they're not going to leave, right? She's like, you're not going to snap your fingers and they're not going to be gone. She's like, so you can honor them and allow them on the bus. They just can't drive. And that to me was huge. People would be like, yeah, you can get on, like go, but sit back there. You can get on, because what your mind is trying to do is it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you safe based on paradigms, based on things that you've done, right? So if you, for the past 20 years, have been saying, I'm just saying you, globally you, if you've been saying for the past 20 years, I'm broke and nothing is ever going to change, that is ingrained in your head, right? So even when you try to change things and it doesn't work right away, you're like, but I've been doing the affirmations, I've been doing the things. It's because your brain is like, yeah, I don't have the evidence though to prove that this is going to work. What I have is the evidence that it's not.
You know what
So
we
that
call
is,
it?
yes,
Faith.
yes. Faith is giant, giant, because a lot of this, like trusting the process, having faith, feeling the fear and do it anyway. These affirmations, these things are asking you to believe in something that you cannot see. So this is again why I love magic, why I love ritual, why I love these, because it gives you an anchor to pull yourself back to say, okay, I know that I'm scared shitless right now doing the thing, but I have set my intention that this is going to work, that I'm going to be okay, that I am okay as I do this work. So little steps, little things that you can do for yourself every day. It's amazing. Let's see. Question: do you think being comfortable with uncertainty is a constructive way to avoid negativity? That's a really good question. Do you think being comfortable with uncertainty is a constructive way to avoid negativity?
No,
No,
we we can't avoid negativity.
you can't. You can't avoid it ever. Negativity just is around us. All you have to do is just turn on the television.
Or answer the phone.
Yeah. So, do I think it's a constructive way? No. But do I think being comfortable with uncertainty is necessary in order to move you to the next stop and to the next position, to the next level, however you want? There's a saying that I've studied a lot of marketing, and one of the things that they say is that people who are like, one percenters and people who are doing this, they're uncertain all the time. They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They don't know what's going to happen in the stock market, but they take the risk and they do it anyway. So
That's
there's a,
why that's why they're rich.
yeah, you got
Well,
to take the steps.
also because they're getting insider information.
There's that. But if you're like me, who I'm like doing this on my own.
I went there. I don't give a damn.
But avoiding the negativity, I don't think there's any way that you can really avoid it. What you can is be
Only
aware of it.
way, only way you can avoid it, you die. Okay, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But the only way, but avoiding it, no. But just removing yourself from the sphere, it's different to me. Avoiding it means just almost like pretending it doesn't exist. And there's no way to do that. Like we're all here on this earth, and everybody has, good days. I have good days and bad days. Like I'm sitting here very much spouting positivity and everything. Trust me, it's not like this every day. It's not. It's not. I'm human.
Sometimes, sometimes it's hour by hour,
Yes.
minute by minute.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And so again, taking little steps for yourself, really taking intentional showers instead of just like, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and just really clean up, like taking a pause and saying, Spirit of water, thank you so much. Just please cleanse me of what does not serve me and give me the energy that I need to move into the rest of my day. Something that simple can change the trajectory of your day. It's
And
amazing
your
what can
life.
happen.
And your life, because think about all the people that you come in contact with every day. We impact people's lives in ways we don't even realize.
Yes, yes, yes. So also what is really one of the most, I think, powerful things that a lot of people I don't know if they really use is the power of visualization and
Yes.
visualizing yourself as like we've probably heard that, like act as if, right? Act as if you're really, really rich. I'll be very honest, I've never really been able to act because
What does that look like?
I'm like, what is like, are you gonna give me the $5 million so I can act as if so acting as if like you've heard that, but when you really again put yourself like visualize yourself, like what does that look like? What do you look like as that person? What are you wearing? What does your hair look like? What do you like? For me, what do my glasses look like? Like, 'cause I wear glasses 20, all the time. So like, what kind of glasses would I really like to have? Like, what kind of makeup would you really like to be able to buy? Like, envisioning yourself, not just like, oh, I, would love to have $5 million because it would be really cool. No, really, really sit with that. Sometimes write it down. Writing is the Richie tip again. Writing actually activates the RAS, the reticular activating system, I believe it's called, in the brain, and it actually will tell your brain this is really important. So writing down your intentions, writing down who you want to be, right? Just word vomit all over the place. Like this would be amazing. And if I could just wear this dress every single day and I go into Vera Wang and I buy a $2,000 vest, whatever that is, like imagine yourself doing that and doing that consistently. You'll start to see little shifts. You may even start to see like more commercials of Vera Wang or whatever that is. I don't know why I just thought about her, but yeah. So, you may start seeing little things, and those are the little signs and synchronicities that your brain is like, yeah, that actually is a possibility. And look, we just saw that commercial. And look, we just saw that over here. Oh yeah, look, we just saw that over there.
And another instance is when you're thinking about a blue car, for example,
Mhm.
then you look over and you start to
Yep.
see more blue cars.
Yep.
So,
A
and then
friend of mine, she did
then
that. She manifested a car. She wanted a silver Toyota something. I don't remember the name. And she just wrote down exactly what it looked like. She wrote down what it smelled like when she sat in it, what she imagined it would smell like. She imagined what it felt like to sit in the seat. Like when I sit down on the, in the seat, I sank down. Like she imagined all of it. And within a month, she had that car. And she started seeing them everywhere, everywhere. And within a
see,
month, she had the car. She got the money. She had the car. But she was like, it was meticulous. Like every single day, she wrote down like a little bit more. Or she reread it, whatever she needed to. Like she was dedicated, and it does take that dedication, right, to really be dedicated to yourself.
she was manifesting.
Yep, yep. I was incredible when she got it a month later. She called me up. She's like, Aisha got the car. I was like, no shit. That's amazing.
The power of the mind, the power of positive thinking.
Yep.
I forgot the guy that wrote that book. Uh, anyway, but I wanted to talk about money,
Okay.
okay? Because growing up in a Christianity, okay, my father was a minister, okay, Baptist church. So I have an issue with money, and maybe a lot of other people. I have a block, okay, because I antiquate money with with like greed.
Mm, okay.
Okay.
That's a good one.
So
So
let's talk
whew,
about it.
money is never about money. Money blocks, money issues. There's never about money. It is about, once again, what you were taught, what you've seen, how you've interacted with it. Poor money. Money gets a lot of rap. Like, it's not me. It's what's associated with money that people, right? Because you look at people who have hell of money, like, billionaires. Like, I don't think I've ever, I think this is the time that we've seen the most billionaires ever, like, in life. And it's slightly a little insane to me, but at the same time, great, get your paper. You know what I'm saying? Get yours. I'm all about that. But when you do, again, grow up in a household that has real negative connotations and real negative feelings about money, you're going to pretty likely, 99% sure, you're going to grow up thinking that money is bad, right? Whereas money is amazing. Money is an energy. It ebbs and flows. It goes in and out of your bank account. Like, a lot of people get really freaked out about paying bills. I get it. But what happens if you actually were really thankful for having the money to pay that bill? Right? What if you could say, as you're hitting send on that bill, like, there's so much more, there's more where this came from. I'm so grateful that I was able to pay this bill. Instead of like, oh shit, I got to pay another bill. Like, PG&E or whatever that is. I'm so grateful that the lights are still on. I'm so grateful that I could buy the groceries. I'm so grateful. Like, having gratitude for the things that you're doing with money really starts to change that relationship with it. Instead of like, oh my God, it's leaving. When you look at it as it's just leaving all the time, that's always how you're going to see it. Even though your bank account every single month, right? If you have a job, you have a corporate job, you get your pay. You know what I'm saying? I completely get it. But you're getting your paycheck. But instead of looking at it as, oh my gosh, it's leaving. Like, what am I going to do? Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that I have the money to pay for this. And there's plenty more where that came from. You see the difference in how looking at it in a different light can change just how you think about it, because money is amazing. Money is beautiful. Money is so amazing. And it helps us to be able to live the lives that we want to live. Money is great. So your feelings about money, though, may not be so great. And again, how do you see yourself with money? Like, really paying attention to that shadow side. When you think about money, what happens? You go, I don't, like, pay attention to how your face goes. Pay attention. Like, I don't want to talk about money. It makes me uncomfortable. Okay. Then take a 50 steps back from that. Money makes me uncomfortable. Write it down. Then take 50 steps back. Why does it make you uncomfortable? Why? Go back as far as you can remember. Is it because something your mother said, father said, how, maybe it was taken from you, right? Businesses go up and down all the time. I get it. But money is an energy. It's not trying to be cruel to you. It's just, money is an energy. I hope that answered your question a little bit about money. It's never money.
Yeah.
It's never money.
A lot of people struggle with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. 100%. This has been a really great conversation, though. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Joe said wisdom, grace, beauty, courage, and love. Okay.
Yes.
If we think those things like that, we have much more I wouldn't say luck. I would say we'll have more blessings in our
Yes.
lives.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Because
Yes.
I don't believe in luck.
Luck is, you make your, for me, you make your own. Again, on how you are approaching things. Like, right, when you're going out to, again, I used to sing, some people used to say, go out, good luck. And actually I would take that like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, I wonder, and so that making my own luck into how I would, approach my performance or whatever that was. So do I believe that luck, and miracles happen, just off of, anything? It can. But really what it is building your own energetic body and building your own energetic mind and building your own energetics about what you do. That is what creates your own luck, and that's what creates your own miracles.
And that comes from intentions as well, as we know.
Yes, I am a huge one. Anybody who follows me, every Monday, I do intentions for like the collective, and I have like a few, and I'm like, pick one, write it down, say it out loud 3 times, and so it is. And that's something you can do. I do that at the beginning of every single week. Like, every word that I create, every word that I write is, is full of my energy, and those who want it are finding me. Like, even just saying that, whenever you're like, I really don't want to post this, I'm so freaked out, I don't know if anybody's going to read this. And oh my God, if you said that, what do you think is going to happen? As opposed to, I cannot wait for this post to go out because who this is meant for is going to find them. You see how it changes the energy just around that post that you're putting out, around that whatever you're putting out. Just those little bits of way of changing things and of looking at things will change that for you and for you and your work.
It will change the direct trajectory of our lives for sure.
Yes.
Okay. And how we enforce these things is through community and connection.
Yes. 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 And that's what I love about Substack. I think the most that I was really pleasantly surprised at is the community feel. Is like, speaking with you, you saying, do you want to come on my live? Absolutely. Just to even talk about all the things that I do and to have a safe space and feel safe enough to do that. That's so huge. And I didn't get that on other social media platforms. I didn't get that feeling. So this is an amazing place. I mean, for me, and and I'm on TikTok and things like that. I got kicked off of my IG. It broke up with me for whatever reason. It just kicked me off. I don't know why. So
it was probably a blessing in disguise.
it was because I was putting a lot of energy into something that wasn't doing anything for me. And I've been on this platform now since the end of February and look at how much has happened. So this, again, while we were talking about those blessings where when it first happened, I was like, what happened? I didn't do anything, but it turned into something so amazing and so beautiful. So the universe, what I said, what is meant for you will not pass you by. What is meant for you.
We have to be mindful of that, and we have to pay attention to the signs. We get a lot of different signs because you see asynchronicities in numbers.
Yes.
1111. And that's
Yes.
another thing. When you see numbers, those numbers mean something.
Yes.
Okay.
Ones is, if you're into tarot, anybody here, it's a sign of the magician. You have everything that you need in order to succeed. The pioneer, right? The number one, the first one, you can be the first at something. It is a sign of new beginnings. When I see 111, I get it instantly happy. Like, start paying attention to how you feel when you see those repeating numbers. 222, you're on the right path, right? 333, what you're communicating out is correct. 444, you are building stability. So when you see these, pay attention to how you're feeling. Or you're just like, that's another one. But no, you can really be like, oh my gosh, I am creating more stability with all these fours. Thank you for showing me all these fours because I am creating this stability. You can see again the difference in how you think and how you approach that. So yes, repeating numbers all day, all day. Love it.
Animals too. We get messages through the animals, and each of us have a spirit animal too.
So I work with thousands upon thousands of spirit guides. That's one of my superpowers, is I'm able to decode messages and symbols and imagery that come through, especially in visualization. It's one of the things that I do for my clients. And it's one of the things I've really honed on doing over the last few years. And I have on my spirit team that I work with directly about 100 different spirit guides that I work with on a weekly basis, depending on what is going on and depending on what's happening. One of them, the thing that you had talked about was freedom. So one of the animals that I work with a lot for freedom is horse. We are in the Chinese, horses. They have their lung capacity. They can carry so much oxygen, which is why they can run and run. They have so much endurance. They have so much lung capacity. I used to ride horses when I was younger. And I work with the spirit of horse all the time because that is the true sign of freedom. We are right now in the year of the fire horse in terms of Chinese astrology and the Chinese lunar year. So asking horse to help you, like, horse, carry me to freedom, right? That's what they do, is they carry you to freedom. So really working with horse on that. Manifestation, the animal I work with the most is elephant in the wild because they're so big. They can cut through the tall grass, and so the smaller animals, smaller animal, can follow along behind. So I ask elephant to lay the path towards my manifestations, lay the path to the next one, and I will follow, and I will make sure that I'm there. For protection, I use either rhino. They're huge. They're armored. They were born armored, right? So I think about that armor when I want to like really go into a situation where I know that I need a special protection. I call on rhino, and I imagine armor being put onto me, energetic armor being put onto me, so that I am protected. Strength and courage. What do we think about lion? I imagine lion walking either behind me if I really need a push, beside me. I let the spirit, I let the energy of that kind of show me what it does. I will sit with that. If it's behind me, I know I need a little bit of a push. Beside me, I know that we're going. If it's be in front of me, then I know that okay, I just need to keep following that energy, keep following that. So it's amazing what happens when you really start tapping into this and start tapping into animals. I've studied animals since I was a little kid. And so animal spirit guides are one of my superpowers and one of the things I love doing because I just have a real affinity for animals. I love working with them.
Yes, and another thing that I was going to mention. It just slipped my mind here for a second. Um, so, does anybody have any questions for Aisha? Maybe it'll come back to me. Um,
I appreciate everybody being here. I really, really do. This has been a lot of fun for me. I'm a talker, as you can see, so I apologize if I usurped the conversation a lot. But I appreciate just the space to just be me, to be the business witch, because everything that we've talked about can be used in your work. It can be used in your life, your work, your business, your relationships. It can be used in every facet. I concentrate on work just because that's what, that's how we make a living. But it's just once you start to really pay attention to these things, it's amazing what opens up. It's absolutely amazing.
I was going to ask you about the Chinese
Mhm.
um, horoscope, whatever, because I am a tiger.
Oh, okay. So tigers that's big cat energy. Tigers is great. So whenever you have big cat energy, you've got very protective. Tigers are also very elusive. They have excellent camouflage. So you might actually have, the ability to be like a kind of chameleon and be able to fit in where you need to, which I love. For me, I am the year of the snake.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm Year of the Snake. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's terrifying because I'm terrified of snakes in real life, which I kind of am. Um, but they are the most grounded animals that you can ever think about, right? Because they're on the ground. They feel things. They are
Mhm.
one with the earth. They are exceedingly patient, which is something I'm working on with me. I am not Patience and I are not the best of friends, but they are patient and they're just they're also the sign of the divine goddess. And that's a perfect example. Snake, really quick, sorry to go off on a tangent. It's a perfect example of what people have said. How many times do you hear a snake in the grass? They're such a snake, right? This negative way of looking at them when they
You know
are.
why?
Why?
Because of the story of Adam and Eve.
Yep. Yep. Like the snake is evil. The snake did horrible things. The snake did this. But when you look at them in the wild, like on farms, farmers love them. They keep down the rodent population, right? They do what they're supposed to do. They're not doing anything against us. But it's again the stories that we've been told, how we've been looking at them. And when you start to change that, you're like, oh yeah, I do have a lot of those same traits. Like with snake, I am such an earth person. And for you and tiger, again, that chameleon kind of being able to fit in where you need to, and then actually also being able to pounce when you need to, that is huge, 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 huge energy. And so you may have that, you may even feel that, but it is giant energy to have within. You're like, I'm okay, I'm gonna kick back, but when I need to, I'm gonna do what I need to do.
And the more we can find out about ourselves, including our human design, because human design, I'm a manifesting generator, which makes
Nice.
sense because I like to talk. Okay, I
Yeah.
mean, I like to do these lives, but I'm an introvert, and after that, I don't like to talk. Okay.
Yeah. I call myself like an introvert with extroverted tendencies. Like after
Yeah.
this, I will probably go and lie down for a while. Um,
Yeah, right. I'm overstimulated, and sometimes we can get overwhelmed.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Same
yeah.
thing for me. I can get overwhelmed all the time. But working with animal medicine is giant. Like if you get overwhelmed a lot, working with water, working with the spirit, like I'm seeing fish, like working with fish because they glide, right? And they move with the current and they move with the things. Like using that is just it's amazing, amazing, amazing.
You know, there was science behind that. If you sit in front of a fish tank
Mhm.
how your blood pressure and everything just comes down. You sit there and watch that. And so what I plan on moving to be near the water. But in the meantime, I bought myself one of those inner what you call it, like waterfall,
Oh
and I
yeah,
can just and I hear the water running, and it helps to keep me calm. So I have that.
that's amazing.
So
Yes.
yes.
That is, and working with water is one of the best ways that you can really heal yourself. Water is healing. Water is essential. We are made of water. This planet is mostly made of water. And if you really
70%.
think about it, the water, we don't get new water from space. We don't have like another planet floating by giving us new water. This water has been here since the beginning, since even before the time of the sun. The molecules in our water have been here since the time of the dinosaurs. So if you really think about the energetics that we are bringing into our bodies and into our lives with water, it's incredible. In fact, I wrote a note about this today because I was like, oh my gosh, it's incredible when you really think about it. Like the water I'm drinking carries the energetics, which again, I think is really important of why you need to keep cleansing your energy, because you're taking all the energetics of everything else that's come before. Everything. Everything. So, and also another witchy trip, and then I will stop. I know we've been going on a long time. Pay attention to where your water source comes from. And I'm talking about the water in your pipes. My water source here in the East Bay in California comes from river. So I have river water coursing through my pipes. What is river? Forward momentum, forward flow. If you have like an aquifer, that's deep, right? That's deep, ancient water that has been from the earth and it's coming up. If you have glacier water, right? That is frozen air that just carries the energy of frozen water and everything. Like it's amazing if you just pay attention to where your water source is. And that's how I use it in my magic. When I'm like river water, please help me move forward as I'm drinking my water. Even just doing that intentionally is huge. Just little things, little things.
It makes a big difference, these little things.
It
That's
does.
what baby steps, everything can make a huge difference. And we need to
Huge.
be mindful of these things. Okay. A self-awareness is everything.
Yes, 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 yes.
So yes, this has been a very interesting conversation. Um it went the way we talked about. So
Yep.
I'm very happy. And we have all of these light workers and all these spiritual guides and everything. And I appreciate all the work that you guys do every day. Okay, we need to stick together.
Yes.
Okay, we need to stick together.
Yes. And I appreciate you for inviting me on. This has been amazing. This conversation, we said, we'll just see what happens. And look what just happened. We've just been talking for almost an hour and a half, and that's amazing. And it's all about things that can help others. I hope, everybody here has just picked up maybe one little thing that they can do for themselves, because again, it just opens up your life. And I am so appreciative and just love being here and love talking about it, as you can tell.
Yes, and I'll make sure to include your information so they can contact you directly,
Yep.
subscribe, and
Yep.
we just continue to learn and grow together, right?
Absolutely. I'm here on Substack and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, just let me know. You can DM me, whatever y'all need to do. And I'd love to come back again if you'd love to have me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you all, and you all have a good enjoy the rest of your day or night wherever you're at. All right. Bye.
Bye.